From unprecedented protests to the truce with the PKK group, a lot is happening in Turkey. This week, the Kurdistan Workers' Party finally announced PKK disarmament. And in our next report, we tell you how this process will shape up and whether this truce applies to PKK groups in Iraq and Syria.
The PKK Kurdish militant group promised to put an end to one of the longest insurgencies in West Asia. On Monday, the PKK announced it was disarming itself, ending a 4-decade-long armed conflict with Turkey.
The PKK was an organization that put itself forward for the socialization of Kurdish people for 50 years. If the social and democratic rights granted to these Kurds in the Republic of Turkey are given, it is natural for the PKK to be disbanded. I think it will be better for our country.
Days after the Kurdistan Workers' Party convened a party congress in northern Iraq, the PKK announced it would dissolve its organizational structure and put an end to its armed struggle. The Turkish president says the PKK's disarmament would usher in a new era for democratic politics.
We evaluate this statement by the PKK as a decision that covers all the extensions of the organization, especially in Syria and Europe, along with northern Iraq. With the complete disengagement of terrorism and violence, the doors of a new era in all aspects, especially regarding the strengthening of the democratic capacity of politics, will be opened.
In February, jailed PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan, who's been imprisoned since 1999, urged his group to convene a congress and formally decide to disband. On the 1st of March, PKK announced a unilateral ceasefire, but attached conditions to it. PKK wanted a legal framework for peace negotiations. While Ankara welcomed the decision to dissolve, it does not guarantee peace. Previous peace efforts between Turkey and the group, most recently in 2015, have ended with failure. Over the years, conflict between Turkey and PKK spilled over into northern Iraq and northern Syria. The conflict has killed more than 40,000 people, exerted a huge economic burden, and fueled social tensions. Syria's new government called the PKK's disarmament a pivotal moment and one that ensures regional stability.
On behalf of the Syrian Arab Republic, we congratulate the Turkish government and its people on their recent agreement with the Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK. This step marks a pivotal moment not only for Turkey's internal security, but also for the stability of our whole region.
However, the Kurds living in Syria are skeptical of the current situation. Turkey regards YPG militia in Syria as a PKK affiliate. Currently, the YPG leads a US-allied force against the Islamic State in Syria. YPG considers itself an independent group and does not regard Öcalan's call as its own.
The part that concerns the Kurds in Syria is that we know that during the period of the Syrian crisis, the objections and attacks that came to the autonomous administration in Syria were always from Turkey specifically.
Details of the peace initiative have not been made public. The future of PKK fighters remains uncertain, including whether they may be relocated to third countries. Any concessions the PKK might obtain in exchange for its decision to disband have not been disclosed. It is unclear how weapons would be disposed of and who would monitor the procedures. Many believe the main aim of the reconciliation effort is for Erdogan's government to garner Kurdish support for a new constitution that would allow him to remain in power when his term ends in 2028.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.